of the great rabbis of yesteryear. Well, at the end of the month of Cheshvan, Lamed Cheshvan, 30th of Cheshvan, marks the Hilula of a really great rabbi. His name was Rabbi Yosef Kanafo Z'tl. He was born in English year 1823 and passed away in December 1900. He was approximately 77 years of age at the time of passing. He was a great rabbi and Kabbalist and was one of the great rabbis of Morocco. He reported he wrote down 18 Torah books. I believe 7 of them were printed and published during his lifetime alone. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. So he was born in an area, I believe, called Mojdar. If I'm not mistaken, it's a city by the port of Morocco in of itself. Very, very great Torah Jewish community it had itself, and came from great auspices. His father's name was Rabbi Moshe Kanafo, respectively. And I believe it was a really, really great family. I think they were a 3rd generation at that point in time from a family of I think called the Ofron burners, a community of which I believe 50, the 3rd generation was, where the 2 generations before, 50 of the members were burned for the sake of Kiddush Hashem, for the sanctification of Hashem. I believe that occurred in the town of Ofran because they refused to convert to Islam. At the end, they lost their lives because of that. That's what's reported over. I'll read what it says over here in Wikipedia. Dor Shlishi nitzrefei Ofra'an kihila shel 50 machbera nitzrefu al Kiddush Hashem ba'ayara Ofran lacha shesirvo lichit aslem. They refused to convert to Judaism on that front in of itself. So that's why. So I would recommend everyone to research upon that. And I think by the time he was 13 years of age, he was bar mitzvah, he started learning Torah and Kabbalah, reported over. And while he was young, he would travel to Marrakesh over there, and he would learn under auspices of Rabbi Abraham Kuriat, who was a very, very great rabbi, I think the author of the Brit Avot, if I'm not mistaken, and was a relative of Rabbi Eliyahu ben Amozag, who was also another very great rabbi we mentioned about on various occasions before. I believe he happened to be also a famous philosopher, Kabbalist, Parshan Mikra. His name was of the acronym Hara'ava, really, really great rabbi. And then afterwards, he would get married to his wife. Her name was Rabbanit Zahara, and they had 3 sons, 3 children, if I'm not mistaken. Rav David, Rav Moshe, and they had a daughter also. Rav Kanafo refused to accept, like, let's say, a official rabbinic position in himself. Obviously, he was a very, very good rabbi, and he would just be learning constantly inside the Beit Midrash over here and writing many of his great Torah works in himself. Now, he passed away, reported over, by the time of Rosh Chodesh Kislev on Lamed Cheshvan in the Hebrew year Heit Tafresh Samach Aleph. That's English year 1901. I read somewhere else before 1900 it was, and he passed away in Bogdar, and was, I believe, buried there also. Let's explore some of the great Torah books that he left us. Left us many great Torah books, reported over 18 books he wrote, especially the first book was called the Zevach Pesach, which I think was printed in the year 1874. And other great books also, which he had printed at various different, I think some of the books were printed in Livorno, in Italy, respectively, and in various different places in of itself. And I recommend everyone to look into those great Torah books in of itself. Now, let's explore his family life, including, I believe, after he passed away, his wife, Rabbanit Zahara, would actually move to the land of Israel while I think she was about 70 years of age to Jerusalem, if I'm not mistaken. Now, his son, Rabbi David Kanafo, he was, I think, appointed the Abbedin, head of the Jewish court of the congregation of Mojdar, respectively, in Morocco, very prominent position. I think his grandson was Yitzchak Kanafo, who I think also had various different prominent positions, I think, in Israel in of itself, within regards to Moroccan and Israeli, I say, connections within regards to that field. I think various different other many generations he had. I think among his descendants, there was more great descendants of himself. That really, I think there was Tzatzo Hakimu Be'eretz Et Amutot Ot Brit Kodesh. So one of his descendants actually started up an Amutah called the Ot Brit Kodesh, which was, I think, named after one of the great rabbis, Sefrim, one of the great books in of itself. Now let's explore some of the names of the great Torah books he left, which was the Zach Venaki, that was one of them. This was in characteristics and festivals. Midot Vachakim, Minchat Erev was another book, which was Chechot and Perushim on the prayer of Mincha. Then there was Ot Brit Kodesh, which we just mentioned about, which was concentrating on Shmirat HaBrit, was something we concentrate more on usually during the time period of Shovavim. There was Zevach Pesach, which was Yafeh, Enayim, or Haggadah and Halacha with regards to Pesach. Then the Chastei Avot, which was another great book in itself, I think connected to the Baal Shem Tov, if I'm not mistaken. Then the Tov Ro'i, which is Perush on Mesechet Avot, the ethics of the fathers. Then there was a trilogia, let's say, of Ma'at Mayim, Ma'at Sur, Tzarei, Ma'at Vash. Then there was a Kol Zimara, which is Drushim on the Torah, explaining its foundations in Torah. Then the Yosef Beseter, which was on the Sefer of the Zohar, respectively. And the Badei Ha'aron, which was Hagot on the Sefer of Otzrot Chaim from Rabbi Chaim Vital, the great Kabbalist, great rabbi in of himself, who we have mentioned about on various different occasions before. So he passed away around the year 1901, Lamed Cheshvan, one of the great rabbis. He was working also in an area in Morocco called Asu Era, if I'm not mistaken. So he passed away, he was about 77, 78 years of age. Please don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory and learn more about the great rabbis of yesteryear. So wishing you all well and blessings from Israel.